I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and a little bit about why this campaign is really, really important to me. So, my name's Pauline. I am a community mental health nurse for children and adolescents. I work completely autonomously in the community. I am responsible for assessing patients' mental health, deciding on whether or not they'll get brought into our service or whether or not they're appropriate for another service. The treatment that we give those patients is down to me. I make that decision and I carry out that treatment. If my patient's health deteriorates in the time that they are with me on my caseload, one of between 20 and 30 people, it is my responsibility to refer them over to our psychologists or our psychiatrists with a recommendation of what I believe needs to be done to help the person. Okay, so I don't just say, okay, I'm a nurse, I've done a little bit of that work, I'm going to pass that on to the doctors now. I actually have to give them some sort of indication of what I believe as the person who's been treating that patient should happen for that patient. Okay, so it's a lot of responsibility. We also deal with patients in crisis, so it could be that a young person falls into crisis in the sense that they become suicidal. We have a responsibility to ensure that they are safe, even though they're out in the community. But we have that responsibility. Either we start off over the phone trying to talk them around, trying to talk them out of taking their own lives, trying to rationalise with them as to why they want to do that and what their alternative options are. And remember, all the while, this is over the phone, so I have no real control whether or not that person does go and take their life. There have been occasions when my colleagues have been on the phone to people, talking them out of taking their own lives, and whilst on the phone, they've taken some tablets. So it's really, really high pressure. This stuff it's not easy. We don't just do basic stuff as nurses. We are responsible for people's lives, and if we don't act like we're responsible for people's lives, what happens is, apart from patients become more unwell and could die, we are completely and utterly accountable for everything we do in our practice. It's really, really high pressure stuff. So on the back of everything that I've just said, the fact that I do on-call duties and I'm completely autonomous in the community, what would you say if I turned around to you and said, I've been qualified for 6 months, I'm just out of uni, 6 months qualified, I am completely and utterly autonomous, exactly the same as nurses who have been doing this for 10 years, okay? Yeah, I can call out for support from my colleagues, phone them up if I need a bit of help, we can all do that. But I am out there and I am treating patients like I've been qualified, same as my colleagues, for 10 years, okay? This pay rise, this 4%, is not going to recognise the fact that me as a newly qualified nurse is doing the same job as someone who is at the top of band 5, who is going to get at least £300 more than me in their pay rise. That is a huge difference for two people that do exactly the same job, who have exactly the same responsibilities. Okay, this is where this pay rise becomes even more unfair, because you're splitting within a band, within a role that do the same thing. Okay, so this month I'll give you a little example of how much this pay rise is going to improve my life. I think it's a bit of we're pushing it a bit with that. So this month we received our backdated 1%, backdated to December. So that was my April 1% plus my December, January and February, because in March we got a 1% as well. So that's 4% I should have been seeing on my salary. And because that's then pushed me into the 21% bracket for tax, some more taxes come off. So that's gone down, so that's now not 4% I've seen. And then because our pension contributions are done by percentage, that's 5%, and actually that creeps up, that amount has gone up as well. So what has happened is I am currently this month £19 worse off for having 4% extra put on my month's salary. How is that making any sense that the SNP can sit there and say 4% is a good offer when a registered nurse who is responsible for lives is getting a pay cut when you're offering 4%. And that just goes to show how bad we have been treated in the last 10 years, that 4%, a pay rise to any other industry, any other professional would probably be a reasonable pay rise, but ours has been cut so much that 4% means absolutely F all. Sorry, suddenly conscious there's young ones around as well. So that's why this means something to me. That's why I am going to keep campaigning until we get our pay corrected, because no matter how much the SNP dress this up, it's a rubbish deal. Absolutely rubbish. So, without further ado, we'll move on.